You do not have to solve your whole life tonight. You do not have to find every answer before your head touches the pillow. You do not have to understand why everything happened, what tomorrow will bring, what someone meant, what you should have said, or how every problem will be fixed. Tonight, you are allowed to stop carrying the weight of questions that were never meant to be answered in one tired moment. Tonight, you are allowed to let your overthinking mind go quiet. The mind may not believe this at first. It may say, "But I need to figure this out now." It may bring up one more problem, one more memory, one more fear, one more possible future. It may tell you that if you stop thinking, something important will be missed. It may tell you that rest is careless, that letting go is dangerous, or that peace must wait until everything is under control. But peace does not have to wait. You can have questions and still rest. You can have unfinished work and still rest. You can have feelings you do not fully understand and still rest. You can be waiting for an answer and still give your body permission to soften. Rest is not a reward you earn after every part of life is perfect. Rest is something your mind and body need so you can meet life with more strength, more clarity, and more love. Perhaps your thoughts become louder at night because the day has finally become quiet. During the day, there are messages, tasks, sounds, responsibilities, and people who need something from you. You keep moving. You keep answering. You keep doing what must be done. Then the night arrives, the room becomes still, and everything you pushed aside begins to rise. A conversation returns. A mistake comes back. A fear about money appears. A worry about your health speaks louder. A relationship question enters your mind. A future problem begins to grow in your imagination. You may feel as though your mind is opening every door at the same time. One thought leads to another. One memory brings another memory. One small worry becomes a long picture of everything that might go wrong. And before you know it, the body is lying in bed, but the mind is running through a future that has not happened. You are not doing this because something is wrong with you. You are not weak. You are not failing at peace. Your mind has learned to stay busy because it believes being busy will keep you safe. It believes that if it thinks long enough, it can stop pain before it comes. It believes that if it studies every possible result, it will never be surprised. It believes that if it keeps watch through the night, it can protect you from tomorrow. Your mind is trying to help you, but it is using an old way that leaves you tired. So do not fight your mind tonight. Do not become angry with it. Do not say, "Why can't I stop thinking?" That question only gives the mind another problem to solve. Instead, speak to it like you would speak to something that has worked very hard for you. You can say, "Thank you for trying to protect me. You can rest now." You can say, "Nothing needs to be solved in this moment." You can say, "I will meet tomorrow when tomorrow comes." You can say, I do not need to carry every answer into sleep. Let these words enter slowly. You do not have to force yourself to believe them. You do not have to make the mind perfectly still. You are only giving it a new message. You are showing it that another way is possible. For so long, you may have believed that thinking more would make you safer. Perhaps you believed that going over every detail would give you control. Perhaps you thought that if you prepared for the worst would hurt less. Perhaps you learned that you had to stay ready, stay aware, stay careful, and never fully relax. But a mind that never rests does not become clearer. It becomes tired. A tired mind sees danger in places where there may only be uncertainty. A tired mind turns small problems into heavy ones. A tired mind repeats the same thought and calls it a new answer. A tired mind believes that worry is work. Worry and wisdom are not the same. Wisdom can speak clearly and then become quiet. Worry repeats itself because it is afraid. Wisdom may tell you there is something to handle tomorrow. Worry tells you to handle it all night in your imagination. Wisdom may show you one step. Worry demands the whole path. Wisdom may say, "This needs care." Worry says, "Everything is falling apart." Tonight, you do not have to follow worry into every room it opens. You can notice the thought and choose not to walk behind it. You can hear the fear and still remain where you are. You can let the question exist without forcing an answer. There may be something in your life that truly needs attention. There may be a decision to make, a conversation to have, a practical step to take, or a change that cannot be avoided. Resting tonight. It does not mean you are ignoring it. Resting means you are choosing to meet it with a clearer mind. The answer you need may not come from more pressure. It may come after the pressure is gone. Sometimes the mind becomes so full that it cannot hear the simple truth. It keeps moving because movement feels like progress. Yet the answer may be waiting in a calmer place. It may come in the morning. It may arrive while you are doing something ordinary. It may appear when the body is no longer tight with fear. You do not have to pull the answer toward you. You do not have to chase clarity. You can create space for clarity to come. Begin by allowing this moment to be only this moment. You are not inside tomorrow. You are not back in yesterday. You are here, now, in a place where nothing is asking you to solve your whole future. Feel the place beneath you. It is holding your weight. You do not have to hold yourself up. Let the pillow support your head. Let the bed support your body. Let your hands rest without needing to reach for anything. Let your jaw become softer. Let your shoulders remember that they do not need to carry tomorrow tonight. You have been carrying so much. You may have carried the feelings of other people. You may have carried the fear of disappointing someone. You may have carried the need to make the right choice every time. You may have carried old words that still hurt. You may have carried responsibilities no one fully sees. You may have carried the pressure to look strong while feeling tired inside. You do not have to keep carrying it in this moment. You can place it down, even if only for tonight. Nothing is lost when you rest. Your responsibilities will still be there when you wake. The people you care about will still matter. The decisions will still be available. But you will meet them with more of yourself because you allowed yourself to stop. There is no wisdom in being cruel to a tired mind. There is no strength in forcing the body beyond what it can hold. There is no prize for lying awake and suffering over a future that has not arrived. You are allowed to choose kindness. You are allowed to choose quiet. You are allowed to say, "This thought can wait." Perhaps one thought feels too important to release. Perhaps the mind keeps returning to it because it is afraid that if it lets go, you will forget. You can gently tell yourself, "I am not forgetting, I am resting." You can trust that what truly needs your attention can return when you are ready to meet it. You do not need to hold it tightly all night to prove that it matters. Love does not require constant worry. Responsibility does not require constant fear. Care does not require endless overthinking. You can care deeply and still sleep. You can love someone and still allow your mind to rest. You can want a better future without spending the night fighting the future you fear. This moment is not a test. You do not need to prove how strong you are. You do not need to perform peace. You do not hang, but need to make every thought disappear. You only need to stop treating every thought as an order. A thought may say, "Think about this again." You can answer, "Not now." A thought may say, "What if something goes wrong?" You can answer, "I will meet it if it comes." A thought may say, "You should have done something differently." You can answer, "I did what I could with what I understood then." A thought may say, "You are running out of time." You can answer, "Fear does not decide my timing." This is not a battle. It is a new relationship with your mind. You are becoming the calm voice within you. You are becoming the place your tired thoughts can return to. You are not pushing them away. You are letting them know they do not have to lead you through the night. I do not have to solve everything tonight. Let that sentence become simpler each time it returns. I do not have to solve everything tonight. It does not mean nothing matters. It means I matter too. I do not have to solve everything tonight. My mind deserves rest. I do not have to solve everything tonight. Tomorrow will have its own light. For now, let yourself be a person who is allowed to stop. Let yourself be a person who can put down the day without finishing every thought. Let yourself be a person who does not need fear to stay prepared. Tonight is not asking you to create the rest of your life. Tonight is asking you to rest inside the life you have now. And as the mind slowly begins to hear this, another truth becomes clear. The mind does not repeat thoughts because every thought is important. It repeats them because it is searching for a feeling of safety. When you understand this, the noise begins to lose some of its power. The mind repeats thoughts because it wants certainty. It wants a clear answer, a clear result, and a promise that nothing painful will happen. It wants to know how the conversation will go, what the message means, what tomorrow will bring, and whether every choice will turn out well. But life does not always give certainty before the next step. So the mind creates its own activity. It reviews, predicts, studies, compares, and imagines. It believes that if it keeps moving, it may find the one thought that finally makes everything feel safe. Yet most overthinking does not create safety. It creates more questions. The mind asks, "What if?" Then it creates an answer that brings fear. That fear creates another question. The next question creates another picture. Soon the mind is no longer thinking about what is happening. It is reacting to what it imagined. This is how one small uncertainty can grow into a night full of worry. You may receive a short message and begin wondering what every word means. You may remember something you said and begin deciding how it may have sounded. You may think about one bill and begin imagining years of struggle. You may notice one feeling in the body and begin seeing the worst possible result. You may face one unknown and begin treating it like proof that life is against you. The mind does this because it wants to close the open space of not knowing. Uncertainty can feel uncomfortable. It leaves the future unfinished. It does not give the mind a clear object to hold. So the mind often chooses a frightening answer over no answer at all. A frightening answer may feel painful, but at least it feels like an answer. This is why the mind may say, "They are upset with me," even when it does not know. It may say, "This will never work," even when the story is still moving. It may say, "Something bad is coming," simply because the next step is unclear. The mind believes that expecting pain will make pain easier. It believes that if you imagine every bad result, you will be ready. But preparing for pain every night teaches the body to live as if pain is already here. The chest tightens around something that has not happened. The stomach reacts to a future that exists only in thought. The heart beats faster because the mind has created a danger the room does not contain. This is why overthinking feels so real. The body does not always know the difference between a present danger and a picture the mind repeats with strong emotion. If the mind imagines rejection again and again, the body may feel rejected now. If the mind imagines failure, the body may feel defeated before anything has begun. If the mind imagines loss, the body may begin grieving something that has not been lost. You are not imagining the feeling. The feeling is real. But the thought creating it may not be the truth. This is important. A strong feeling does not always mean a thought is true. A repeated thought does not become true because it returned many times. Fear does not become wisdom because it speaks loudly. The mind may repeat something because it is afraid, not because it has seen the future. You can begin to ask, is this a fact, or is this my mind trying to create certainty? That question creates space. Perhaps the fact is that you have not received an answer yet. The story may be that you are being rejected. Perhaps the fact is that money feels tight today. The story may be that you will never feel supported. Perhaps the fact is that you made a mistake. The story may be that you always ruin everything. Perhaps the fact is that the future is unknown. The story may be that the future is dangerous. Facts can be handled. Stories created by fear often keep growing. When you separate the fact from the fearful story, the mind begins to slow down. It no longer has to solve something that has not truly happened. Useful thinking has an end. Overthinking circles. Useful thinking may help you make a plan, write something down, ask a question, or choose a step. Once the step is clear, useful thinking can stop. Overthinking keeps walking around the same problem after no new answer is coming. It repeats the conversation. It asks the same question in a different way. It searches the past for proof. It creates new fears and calls them preparation. You may notice that after thinking about something for a long time, you do not feel clearer. You feel more tired, more afraid, and less able to decide. That is often a sign that thinking has stopped being useful. You do not need to shame yourself when you notice this. Simply say, "This thought is no longer helping me." You can appreciate that the mind is trying to protect you while still choosing not to continue the circle. This thought is no longer helping me. It is a gentle sentence. It does not attack the mind. It does not demand silence. It simply tells the truth. You may also ask, "Is there something I can do about this right now?" If the answer is yes, choose one simple action. Write the reminder. Send the message when the time is right. Prepare what you need. Ask for support. Make the appointment. Create a small plan. Then let the action be enough for now. If the answer is no, continuing to think may only increase pain. You can say, "There is nothing I need to do about this tonight." This helps the mind understand that the problem is not being ignored. It is being placed in the right time. Some thoughts belong to the morning. Some choices need daylight. Some feelings need a rested body. Some conversations should not be held inside the imagination. You may have spent many nights speaking for someone else in your head. You imagine what they might say, how you might answer, how they may react, and how the whole conversation may end. The mind creates both sides, then reacts to the conversation as if it happened. But the person is not in the room. The event is not taking place. You are carrying an imagined moment as though it is happening now. You can release the conversation from your mind. You do not need to rehearse every possible version. You can trust yourself to respond when the real moment comes. You may not say everything perfectly. You do not have to. You only need to be present enough to speak from what is true. The mind often overthinks because it wants to avoid mistakes. It believes there is one perfect choice, one perfect sentence, one perfect time, and one perfect way to make sure nothing goes wrong. But being human includes uncertainty. It includes learning after the moment. It includes choices that become clear only after they are made. It includes times when you understand later what you could not see before. You are allowed to make a choice without knowing every result. You are allowed to speak without controlling how every word will be received. You are allowed to begin before you feel completely ready. You are allowed to learn as life unfolds. Overthinking may tell you that a wrong choice will destroy everything, but many choices can be adjusted. Many roads can change. Many mistakes can be repaired. Many endings can become new beginnings. You are not walking through life with only one chance. The mind may also repeat the past because it believes there is something hidden in there that can change the present. It goes over what happened, searching for the moment when everything went wrong. It asks, why did I do that? Why did I stay? Why did I trust? Why did I not see it sooner? These questions may begin as a wish to understand, but when they become cruel, they stop teaching and begin punishing. You cannot use today's wisdom to attack the person you were before you had it. You know more now because you lived through what happened. You see more now because the experience taught you. You may wish you had acted differently, but the wish does not mean you deserve endless punishment. You can learn without reopening the wound every night. You can remember without moving back into the memory. You can say, I understand more now, and I choose differently now. That is growth. The mind does not need to keep showing you the old lesson after you have already received it. Perhaps the lesson was to trust your feelings. Perhaps it was to set a boundary. Perhaps it was to stop chasing approval. Perhaps it was to care for your body sooner. Perhaps it was to ask for help. Perhaps it was to stop making yourself small. Keep the lesson. Release the nightly trial. Your mind may also repeat thoughts because it believes attention prevents loss. It may think that if you stop worrying about someone, you will lose them. If you stop thinking about a problem, it will become worse. If you stop checking, you will miss the sign that could protect you. But constant attention does not create control. Sometimes it only creates exhaustion. You can care without checking every moment. You can love without watching for danger. You can be responsible without making your nervous system live in fear. You can give life room to move. When the same thought returns tonight, do not ask, why is this happening again? Ask, what is this thought trying to give me? Perhaps it is trying to give you certainty. Perhaps it is trying to give you control. Perhaps it is trying to protect you from being surprised. Perhaps it is trying to keep you from feeling something deeper. Sometimes thinking is used to avoid feeling. It can feel easier to study the pain than to feel the sadness beneath it. It can feel easier to analyze a relationship than to admit that you feel lonely. It can feel easier to plan every future step than to admit that you are afraid. The mind keeps talking because silence may bring the feeling closer. But a feeling does not need to be solved. It needs to be met. If sadness is here, you can say, I feel sad, and I am staying with myself. If fear is here, you can say, I feel afraid, and I do not have to frighten myself more. If loneliness is here, you can say, I feel lonely, and I can still be gentle with myself. If disappointment is here, you can say, this hurts, but this moment will move. When you meet the feeling directly, the mind no longer has to build so many stories around it. You do not have to know every reason for the feeling. You do not have to explain it perfectly. You can simply allow the truth of the moment. I am tired. I am hurt. I am uncertain. I need comfort. These are simple truths. They do not need long mental arguments. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop searching for an answer and give yourself the care the answer was meant to bring. If you are worried because you want safety, offer yourself a feeling of safety now. If you are replaying a conversation because you want to feel understood, listen to yourself now. If you are planning every possible future because you want support, remind yourself that you can meet one step at a time. If you are searching for proof that you are loved, begin by not abandoning yourself tonight. The mind may keep returning to the old road for a while. That is natural. It has walked there many times. You are not going to create a new habit by attacking the old one. You create a new habit by gently choosing another direction. Each time the thought returns, you can say, I see you, but I do not need to follow you. Each time the question returns, you can say, this does not need an answer tonight. Each time fear creates a future, you can say, that is one possibility, not the truth. Each time the past asks to be repeated, you can say, I have already lived that moment. I am here now. This is how the mind begins to trust you. It learns that it does not have to keep shouting. It learns that you are listening. It learns that you can care for yourself without turning every concern into a crisis. I can notice my thoughts without following every thought. Let that sentence move through you. I can notice my thoughts without following every thought. A thought can enter and leave. A question can exist without being answered. A fear can speak without becoming my guide. I can notice my thoughts without following every thought. You are not the noise. You are the one who can hear the noise. You are not every picture fear creates. You are the awareness that can say, this is only a thought. And the more you understand the reason the mind keeps repeating itself, the less personal the noise becomes. You stop believing that every thought carries a message about your future. You begin to see that many thoughts are old attempts to find safety. This leads to a deeper truth. Overthinking is not only a habit of the mind, it can become a habit of the whole body. It may have started as a way to stay ready, stay careful, or stay protected. And when a habit has been practiced for a long time, even peace can feel unfamiliar. Overthinking may have begun as a way to protect you. At some point, staying alert may have felt necessary. Watching the mood in a room may have helped you know when to speak and when to stay quiet. Thinking ahead may have helped you avoid conflict. Preparing for every possible problem may have helped you feel less surprised. Replaying conversations may have been your way of learning what was safe. The habit did not appear because you wanted to suffer. It appeared because some part of you believed it was useful. Perhaps you learned that relaxing was dangerous because something always seemed to happen when you finally let your guard down. Perhaps you learned that mistakes brought criticism, so you began checking every detail. Perhaps you learned that other people could change suddenly, so you began studying every word, every look, and every silence. Perhaps you learned that love could be removed, so you began thinking about how to keep it. Perhaps you learned that safety depended on being prepared, pleasing others, staying quiet, or making the right choice. The mind remembered, the body remembered. Even when life changed, the habit remained. Now you may be in a quiet room, but the body still feels like it must stay ready. The door may be locked, the day may be over, nothing may be asking for your attention. Yet something inside remains awake, scanning for the next problem. This is why saying, "Just stop thinking," often does not work. Overthinking is not always a simple choice. It can be a safety system that has forgotten how to turn off. The mind may understand that it is time to sleep, but the body may still believe there is something to watch. The mind may say, "Everything is fine right now," while the chest remains tight. The mind may say, "I am safe," while the stomach still feels uncertain. The mind may want peace, while the nervous system remains loyal to alertness. Nothing has gone wrong. Your body is not against you. It is repeating what it learned. And what was learned can be gently changed. Not through force, not through shame, not through demanding perfect calm. The body learns safety through experience. It learns through moments when you soften and nothing bad happens. It learns through nights when you stop checking and discover that the world continues. It learns through times when you rest before everything is finished and wake to see that rest did not destroy your life. Peace becomes easier when the body begins to recognize it. At first, peace may feel strange. When you are used to worry, calm can feel empty. When you are used to carrying pressure, rest can feel irresponsible. When you are used to solving, silence can feel like you are missing something. The mind may create a new problem simply because it does not know what to do with the quiet. You may notice that when one worry ends, another appears. You may solve one issue, then immediately begin thinking about something else. The mind is not always responding to the problem. Sometimes it is returning to the state it knows best. If tension has become familiar, the mind may keep finding reasons to create it. Familiar does not mean safe. Familiar only means practiced. A painful thought can feel normal because it has been repeated. A worried state can feel responsible because it has been praised. A tired body can feel ordinary because rest has been delayed for so long. A busy mind can feel like your personality when it is actually a habit. You are not your overthinking. You are not naturally meant to spend every night solving imagined problems. You are not required to remain on guard forever. The habit may be old, but it is not your final way of living. Imagine that a guard has been standing at the door for years. This guard has watched through storms, loud nights, sudden changes, and difficult moments. It learned never to sit down. It learned to question every sound. It learned to believe that rest could allow danger to enter. Then one night you tell the guard, you can rest. The guard may not trust you immediately. It may say, "Are you sure?" It may look toward the door again. It may sit for a moment, then stand back up. It may believe that being tired is safer than being unprepared. You would not attack the guard for this. You would understand that it has worked for a long time. You would show it little by little that the door is safe, the room is quiet, and it is no longer alone. Your overthinking mind is like that guard. It does not need punishment. It needs new proof. It needs to know that you are here. It needs to know that rest is not abandonment. It needs to know that you can handle life without staying awake in fear. You become that proof each time you respond differently. When a thought says, "Check again," and you remain still, you are teaching the body that not checking can be safe. When a thought says, "Solve this now," and you choose to rest, you are teaching the mind that answers can wait. When a fear says, "Prepare for the worst," and you return to the present, you are showing the nervous system that this moment is not the feared future. These may look like small moments, but they are powerful. The body changes through repeated experience. Each gentle return becomes part of a new pattern. You do not need to create perfect peace tonight. You are only creating one new experience of safety. Perhaps that experience is letting your hands rest. Perhaps it is allowing one question to remain unanswered. Perhaps it is feeling the support beneath your body. Perhaps it is noticing that the room is quiet. Perhaps it is telling yourself, "Nothing is chasing me in this moment." Let the body receive the present. The present is often much smaller than the mind's story. The mind may be carrying next week, next month, next year, and every possible result. But the body is here. It is touching the bed. It is breathing. It is supported. Bring your attention back to what is real now. The room, the air, the weight of your body. the softness beneath you. The fact that this moment is not asking for a decision. The body needs simple proof. It does not need a long speech. It needs to feel that it can release a little tension without danger entering. Let the forehead become softer. Let the eyes rest. Let the tongue relax inside the mouth. Let the shoulders move away from the ears. Let the hands open. Let the stomach be free from the need to hold a very fear. You do not have to make anything happen. You are simply giving the body permission to stop preparing. It may soften slowly. That is enough. You may still feel some tension. That does not mean the practice has failed. Safety can arrive in layers. The body may release one part while another remains alert. Be patient. A body that has stayed ready for a long time may need many gentle reminders. My mind is learning that peace is safe. Say it without pressure. My mind is learning that peace is safe. You are not claiming that every part of you feels peaceful right now. You are allowing learning. Learning gives the body space. It does not demand an instant result. It does not make peace another task. My mind is learning that peace is safe. Perhaps peace has felt unfamiliar because worry gave you something to do. Worry filled the empty space. It made you feel active when life felt uncertain. It gave the mind a job. If you stop worrying, the mind may ask, "What should I do now?" You can answer, "You can rest." Rest is also an action. Receiving support is also an action. Allowing the day to end is also an action. You do not need to stay mentally busy to deserve your place in the world. You do not need to solve problems every moment to prove that you care. You do not need to carry tension to show that you are responsible. You can care from a calm place. You can make wise choices after rest. You can meet life without living in constant alarm. Perhaps overthinking has also helped you avoid trust. Trust can feel frightening because it requires you to release some control. The mind may believe that if it stops watching, life will forget you. If it stops planning, the path will disappear. If it stops worrying, you will become careless. But trust is not carelessness. Trust means you know you can respond when the moment comes. Trust means you do not need to live every future before it happens. Trust means you allow life to show you the next step instead of demanding the whole map. You have already survived many moments you once feared. You have already handled days you did not know how to handle before they arrived. You have found answers after believing there were none. You have continued through changes that once seemed too large. You may not have done everything perfectly, but you are here. That is evidence that you do not need to predict every step in order to live through it. You can meet life as it comes. The old habit may still tell you that danger is near. Listen with kindness, but look at the present. ask, what is happening right now? Not what might happen, not what happened before. What is happening now? Perhaps right now you are lying down. Perhaps right now no one is asking anything of you. Perhaps right now the decision does not need to be made. Perhaps right now the message does not need to be answered. Perhaps right now there is enough space to soften. The body can only rest in the present. It cannot rest in tomorrow. It cannot rest inside an old memory. It rests here. So each time the mind runs ahead, bring it back without anger. Come back. Each time it returns to the past, remind it gently. That moment is over. Each time it begins building a feared future, say, we are not there. This is how you become a safe guide for your own mind. You are not letting fear choose the direction. You are not rejecting fear. You are leading it home. There may be nights when the old habit feels strong. There may be nights when thoughts return again and again. Do not turn those nights into proof that you will never change. Healing is not measured by never having another difficult moment. Healing may be noticing the pattern sooner. Healing may be speaking more kindly. Healing may be refusing to add fear to fear. Healing may be resting for a little while, even though the mind still has questions. Healing may be remembering that a thought is not an order. Each of these changes matters. You are teaching your system a new way. The old way says, stay awake, stay ready, something may happen. The new way says, I can respond when life arrives. I do not need to live in danger before danger exists. The old way says, keep thinking until you feel certain. The new way says, I can rest without certainty. The old way says, peace is unsafe. The new way says, peace is becoming familiar. Let the new message be soft but steady. You are not forcing the old guard away. You are inviting it to sit down. You are letting it know that it no longer has to stand alone at the door. You are letting the mind know that you are here now. You are letting the body know that the night can be a place of rest. You are creating a new memory of peace. Tonight, even if the mind is not completely quiet, let it be less afraid. Even if the body does not fully release, let it soften where it can. Even if the questions remain, let them become quieter in the presence of your kindness. Your mind is learning. Your body is listening. A new habit is beginning beneath the old one. You do not have to become peaceful by force. You are becoming peaceful through safety. And as this new feeling begins to grow, you may notice something important. The thoughts themselves were never the only problem. The struggle against them made them louder. The fear of thinking kept the mind active. The demand for silence created more noise. there is another way to meet the thoughts, a way that does not fight them, follow them, or turn them into truth. The more you fight a thought, the more important the mind believes it must be. The moment you say, "I must stop thinking about this," the mind turns toward it again. It checks whether the thought is still there. It asks whether you have finally removed it. It watches the thought so closely that the thought receives even more attention. This is why trying to force the mind into silence can create more noise. You may lie down and tell yourself, "I need to sleep now." Then you notice that you are still awake. You become worried about being awake. You begin thinking about how tired you will feel tomorrow. You look at the passing time. You calculate how many hours remain. Soon, you are no longer only awake. You are afraid of being awake. The struggle becomes heavier than the first thought. You may tell yourself not to think about a conversation. Then the mind checks the conversation again. You may tell yourself not to worry about money. Then the mind searches for every reason money feels uncertain. You may tell yourself to forget the past. Then the mind opens the memory to see whether it has been forgotten. The mind cannot let go through force because force tells it that something dangerous is happening. When you fight a thought, the body often tightens. The jaw becomes firm. The shoulders rise. The breath becomes smaller. The mind receives the message that this thought is serious, urgent, and unsafe. Then it stays with the thought to protect you. You do not need to defeat your mind tonight. You do not need to chase every thought out of the room. You can let a thought be present without making it the center of everything. Imagine a sound outside your window. You may notice it for a moment, but you do not have to follow it. You do not have to leave the room and search for its source. You can hear it and remain where you are. A thought can be treated in the same way. You can notice it without entering it. You can hear the mind say, "What if tomorrow goes badly?" and answer, "That is a worry." You can hear the mind say, "You should have done something differently," and answer, "That is an old memory." You can hear the mind say, "You must understand this now," and answer, "That is my need for control." These simple names create distance. You are not saying the thought is bad. You are not trying to destroy it. You are simply seeing it for what it is. This is a worry. This is a memory. This is a fearful picture. This is my mind asking for certainty. When you name a thought, it becomes smaller. It stops feeling like the whole truth and begins to feel like one movement passing through the mind. The thought may still speak. Let it speak without giving it the whole night. You do not have to argue. You do not have to explain. You do not have to prove the thought wrong every time. Sometimes arguing with fear keeps fear alive. Fear asks, "What if something terrible happens?" Then you begin listing every reason it probably will not. Fear answers each reason with another question. The conversation continues because fear does not truly want facts. It wants complete certainty. Complete certainty is not always available. So instead of arguing, you can say, I hear that you are afraid. That sentence does not feed the story. It meets the feeling beneath it. I hear that you are afraid. The mind may ask again, but what if? You can answer, I do not know what tomorrow will bring, and I do not need to know tonight. This is not giving up. This is ending a conversation that has no useful answer in this moment. You may be used to treating every thought like a problem that needs action. But some thoughts are only signs that the body is tired. Some thoughts are only old fears appearing because the room is quiet. Some thoughts are habits that return at the same time each night. Not every thought needs a response. Not every question needs an answer. Not every fear needs a plan. A thought can enter your mind and leave without changing your life. The mind may say something is wrong. You can look around gently and ask, is something wrong in this exact moment, or am I imagining what could go wrong later? Perhaps nothing is asking you to act now. Perhaps the thought is speaking about a future that has not arrived. Perhaps your mind is building a bridge toward a place you may never need to visit. You can return to the room. You can return to your body. You can return to the truth of this moment. This is where your power lives. You lose energy when you keep entering imagined futures. You use real strength to fight events that are not happening. You feel real fear in response to pictures created by the mind. Coming back does not mean the future does not matter. It means you are refusing to suffer through it before it arrives. You can meet tomorrow once. You do not need to meet it 100 times tonight. The same is true for the past. You already lived the moment. You do not have to keep living it each time the memory returns. The mind may bring the face, the words, the silence, or the choice back into view. It may ask you to enter the old room again. You can stand at the doorway without walking inside. You can say, I remember this, but I am not there now. The memory may feel close, but time has moved. You have learned. You have changed. Even if part of the pain remains, the moment itself is over. Let the body hear that. That moment is over. The body may still be reacting as though the past is happening. It may hold the same tightness. It may expect the same hurt. It may feel the same need to protect you. Speak gently. That moment is over. I am here now. You are not denying what happened. You are helping the body know when it happened. It happened then. You are here now. There is a difference. Many people believe peace means having no thoughts. Then every thought becomes proof that peace has failed. But peace does not mean the mind never speaks. Peace means you no longer follow every voice. A peaceful mind may still have a worried thought. A peaceful person may still feel fear. The difference is that fear is not given the whole house. It is allowed to pass through. You can think of thoughts like clouds moving across a wide sky. Some are light, some are heavy, some remain longer. But the sky does not chase them. It does not try to push them away. It allows them to move. You are not the cloud. You are the space that can hold it without becoming it. A thought may cover your awareness for a moment, but it cannot change what you truly are. You are larger than the thought. You are larger than the fear. You are larger than the story the mind tells at night. Let the thought come. Let it be seen. Let it move. This may feel difficult at first because you are used to entering the thought quickly. The thought appears and you immediately begin building around it. You add reasons, memories, pictures, and possible results. Soon, one thought has become a whole world. The practice begins in the first moment. The thought says, "What if I fail?" Instead of entering the full story, you can say, "Fear is here." The thought says, "What if I lose this?" You can say, "My mind is trying to prepare for pain." The thought says, "What if I am not enough?" You can say, "An old belief is speaking." That small moment of awareness changes the direction. You are no longer inside the thought. You are looking at it with understanding. Do not demand that it disappear immediately. If it stays, let it stay without feeding it. A thought becomes stronger when it receives fear, attention, and repeated meaning. When you meet it with calm awareness, it has less fuel. It may return again, meet it again. Not with anger, not with disappointment, not with the belief that you are doing something wrong. Simply say, "I know this thought. It does not need to lead me." This is how a new habit grows. The old habit says, "Follow the thought until you feel safe." The new habit says, "Safety does not come from following every thought." The old habit says, "Find the answer now." The new habit says, "Some answers arrive after rest." The old habit says, "Control everything." The new habit says, "Meet what is real when it becomes real." You may notice that your mind wants to test you. It may bring a stronger fear. It may say, "But this problem really is important." Perhaps it is important. Important does not mean it must be solved at night. A problem can matter and still wait. A feeling can be real and still soften. A choice can be important and still need a rested mind. You can respect the issue without giving it every hour. You can say, "This matters, and I will give it my attention when I can respond clearly." That is wise care. You are not avoiding the problem. You are choosing the right state in which to meet it. Fear wants you to believe that urgency creates safety, but urgency often removes clear thinking. It makes the mind narrow. It pushes you toward fast answers and fearful choices. Calm does not mean you care less. Calm allows you to see more. When the mind becomes quiet enough, you may notice that the problem has fewer parts than fear suggested. You may see one step instead of 100 possible dangers. You may understand that some parts are not yours to control. This is why letting go is not weakness. It is a way of making room for truth. Perhaps tonight you cannot stop every thought. That is not the goal. The goal is to stop adding a second thought to the first one. The first thought may be, I am worried about tomorrow. The second thought says, I should not be worried. Then another says, why am I like this? Then another says, I will never sleep. Then another says, tomorrow will be terrible. The first worry has now become a chain. You can stop the chain by meeting the first thought with kindness. I am worried about tomorrow. Then answer, I understand. Tomorrow matters to me. I can rest before I meet it. Nothing more is needed. Let the sentence end. Do not search for another argument. Do not ask the mind to agree. Offer the truth and return to the body. Thoughts may rise like waves. You do not have to stop the ocean. You only need to stop letting each wave pull you away from the shore. Let it rise. Let it fall. Let another come if it comes. You can remain connected to the place beneath you. The mind may still be moving, but your attention can rest elsewhere. This is a gentle form of freedom. You do not wait until thoughts disappear before you feel safe. You learn that you can be safe while thoughts move. You can be still while the mind changes. You can rest while a question remains open. You can feel peace without receiving every answer. I let thoughts pass without giving them all my energy. Let these words become a quiet boundary. I let thoughts pass without giving them all my energy. The thought may enter, but it does not receive my whole body. The fear may speak, but it does not receive my whole night. The memory may appear, but it does not receive my present. I let thoughts pass without giving them all my energy. There is another gentle question you can ask when the mind becomes loud. Does this thought need my attention, or does it need my comfort? Many thoughts do not need more study. They need comfort. A thought about being rejected may need the comfort of knowing you will not reject yourself. A thought about failure may need the comfort of knowing one result cannot remove your worth. A thought about the future may need the comfort of knowing you can take life one step at a time. A thought about the past may need the comfort of forgiveness. When you give the mind comfort, it may no longer need to repeat the same question so loudly. The thought was trying to bring you toward safety. Offer safety directly. You can say, whatever happens, I will stay with myself. You can say, I do not need to know everything to be supported. You can say, one difficult moment cannot define my whole life. You can say, I can meet change without abandoning myself. These words do not promise that life will always be easy. They promise that you will not turn against yourself when life is hard. That is a kind of safety the mind can trust. The mind often fears not only the event, but also how you will treat yourself if the event happens. It remembers criticism. It remembers shame. It remembers how quickly you may blame yourself. When you become kinder within, the future becomes less frightening. You know that if a mistake happens, you will learn rather than destroy yourself. If someone leaves, you will grieve without deciding you are unworthy. If a plan changes, you will adjust without calling your life a failure. If uncertainty comes, you will breathe before creating a painful story. This inner kindness reduces the need to overthink. The mind does not have to protect you from your own harsh voice. You become a safer place to return to. Tonight, let the thoughts know that they do not have to disappear to be accepted. They simply do not have to lead. Let the mind speak in the distance while you stay connected to the present. If another thought comes, do not begin again with frustration. Say, there is another thought. That is all. No judgment, no fear, no long conversation. There is another thought, and I am still here. Each time you remain, the thought loses the power to carry you away. You may notice a little more space between thoughts. You may notice that one thought ends before another begins. You may notice that the body is no longer reacting as strongly. Do not chase these signs. Let them happen. Peace grows when you stop watching it too closely. You do not need to ask, am I calm yet? You do not need to check whether the mind is quiet. Checking keeps the mind active. Simply continue to meet each moment as it comes. The night does not ask you to perform. The night does not need proof that you have mastered your thoughts. It only offers you a place to stop fighting. When the fight ends, even before the thoughts fully end, something inside begins to soften. The mind understands that it is not in danger because a thought appeared. The body understands that it does not need to react to every picture. The old habit begins to lose its strength. You are not pushing the thoughts away. You are allowing them to leave in their own time. And as you stop feeding them, your attention becomes free to return to the place where real peace can be felt. Not in the endless movement of the mind, but in the quiet truth of the body that is here now. Overthinking pulls you away from where you are. The body may be resting in a quiet room, but the mind is somewhere else. It may be inside tomorrow's meeting, next month's problem, last year's mistake, or a conversation that has not happened. The body is here. The mind is far away. This distance creates tension because the body reacts to every place the mind visits. It may be lying safely beneath a blanket while the mind is standing inside an imagined danger. The body does not need another thought. It needs to know where you are. Bring your attention back gently. Feel the place where your body meets the bed. Notice the weight of your head against the pillow. Notice the blanket resting over you. Feel the simple support beneath your back, your legs, your arms. You are not holding yourself above the ground. Something is holding you. Let yourself receive that support. You may be used to holding everything together. You may be used to carrying the day, caring for others, watching every detail, and staying strong. But in this moment, the bed is doing the holding. You can stop for a while. Let your weight become honest. You do not need to keep the body ready to rise. You do not need to hold the shoulders up. You do not need to keep the hands tight. The body can be heavy. The body can be supported. The body can belong to this moment. Say quietly within, I am here now, not in the conversation, not inside tomorrow, not back in the mistake. I am here now. These words are simple, but they carry the mind home. I am here now. Feel what is real. The air touching the skin. The quiet sounds around you. The natural movement of the breath. The warmth or coolness of the room. These details may seem small, but they tell the nervous system that you are present. Fear lives in imagined places. Safety begins in the real one. The future may contain questions, but this moment contains a bed, a breath, and a body that needs rest. Return to these truths. You do not have to control the breath. Let it move in the way it knows. Notice that the body has been breathing without your command. Even while the mind was busy, the body continued. The heart kept beating. The lungs kept moving. Life remained with you. You do not have to manage every part of yourself. There is wisdom in the body that continues even when the mind is tired. Trust that wisdom a little. The breath does not need to be deep or perfect. It only needs to be received. Feel the air enter. Feel it leave. Nothing is being demanded from you. Let each breath remind you that this moment can be lived without being solved. You do not need a plan for the breath after this one. The next breath will come when it comes. Life can also be met this way. One breath, one moment, one step. The mind tries to carry the whole future at once. The body only lives now. This is why the body can teach the mind to become quiet. Bring attention to the forehead. Perhaps it has been holding thought like a tight band. Let the skin become softer. There is nothing written there that you need to understand tonight. Let the space around the eyes relax. Your eyes have looked at enough for one day. They do not need to search for danger in the darkness. Let the mouth soften. The tongue can rest. The jaw does not need to hold old words or future conversations. You do not have to prepare what you will say. You can trust the words to come when the moment is real. Bring awareness to the shoulders. They may be carrying duties, expectations, and feelings that do not belong in this bed. Let them move down gently. You are not dropping your responsibilities forever. You are placing them outside this moment. They can wait. Bring attention to the chest. Do not force it open. Simply notice. Perhaps there is pressure there. Perhaps sadness, sounds, perhaps fear. Perhaps a feeling you cannot name. You do not need to remove it. Place a gentle message beside it. I am with you. The feeling may not disappear, but it no longer has to be alone. The body often becomes tense because it feels abandoned inside difficult emotions. It feels fear, then hears criticism. It feels sadness, then receives pressure to stop. It feels tired, then is pushed harder. Tonight, do something different. Stay. If the chest feels heavy, stay with the heaviness. If the stomach feels tight, stay with the tightness. If the body feels restless, do not call it a problem. Say, I notice this, and I am here. Your presence is calming. The body does not always need an answer. It needs to feel that you are not going to leave it when discomfort appears. Bring attention to the hands. Have they been holding tightly? Let the fingers become loose. The hands do not need to reach for the phone. They do not need to fix anything. They do not need to hold tomorrow. Open them gently. An open hand sends a different message than a closed one. A closed hand says, I must keep control. An open hand says, I can let this moment be. You may imagine placing one worry into the open hand and allowing it to rest there. You do not have to throw it away. You do not have to make it disappear. You are only refusing to grip it. A worry held softly feels different from a worry held tightly. You can care without closing around fear. Bring attention to the stomach. This is where many worries gather. The mind imagines danger and the stomach prepares. It may tighten around future problems, old shame, or words you have not said. Speak gently to this place. You do not have to hold everything. Let the stomach be soft enough to breathe. Nothing is asking it to protect you from tomorrow right now. Bring attention to the legs and feet. They have carried you through the day. They may still feel as though they must keep moving. Let them know the journey has stopped for now. There is nowhere you need to go in this moment. No door to reach. No answer to chase. No future to run toward. You have arrived here. I am here now. Let the body hear it again. I am here now. The mind may leave again. That is natural. It may return to a question. Bring it back to one part of the body. The weight of the head. The softness of the hands. The movement of the breath. The support beneath the back. You do not need to bring the whole mind back at once. One small point of attention is enough. The mind may say, "But what about tomorrow?" Feel the bed. The mind may say, "But what if something happens?" Notice the breath. The mind may say, "But you forgot something." Feel the hands. You are teaching attention to return from imagined time into real time. This is not avoidance. You are not saying tomorrow does not exist. You are saying tomorrow is not here. The body cannot solve what is not here. It can only become tired from trying. Let it stop trying. My body is safe enough to soften. Notice the word enough. You do not need to feel completely safe. You do not need to remove every concern. Safe enough is gentle. Safe enough means there is room for one shoulder to release. Safe enough means the breath can become a little easier. Safe enough means the hands can stop holding. Safe enough means the body does not need perfect conditions before it receives some rest. My body is safe enough to soften. Let that message travel slowly. The forehead is safe enough to soften. The jaw is safe enough to soften. The shoulders are safe enough to soften. The chest is safe enough to soften. The stomach is safe enough to soften. The hands are safe enough to soften. You do not have to force any part. Offer the permission and let the body choose what it can receive. This moment is not asking me to fight. There is nothing to defeat in this bed. There is no argument to win. There is no future danger standing in the room. The mind may be showing you pictures, but the pictures are not the room. Return to what surrounds you now. This moment is not asking me to fight. Perhaps the day asked you to be strong. Perhaps you had to make choices, answer people, finish tasks, and carry difficult feelings. The night asks something else. It asks you to release the role of constant protector. You can stop watching. You can stop preparing. You can allow the body to become a home rather than a place of battle. For a long time, you may have lived mostly in your head. You may have tried to think your way through every feeling. You may have treated the body like something that must keep up with the mind. But the body has its own voice. It may say, "I am tired." It may say, "I need softness." It may say, "I cannot carry another imagined future tonight." Listen. The body is not being lazy. It is asking for balance. Rest is not wasted time. Rest allows the body to return to itself. It allows the mind to sort what it cannot sort through force. It allows emotion to move without constant study. You do not need to understand exactly how rest helps. You only need to stop standing in its way. Let the body do what it knows. The mind may want to remain in charge. It may ask, "How will I know when I am calm?" You do not need to know. Calm is not a result you must measure. If you check for calm, you return to the mind. Stay with the body. Feel instead of measure. Perhaps the breath feels slightly warmer. Perhaps the shoulders feel lower. Perhaps the hands feel less tight. Perhaps nothing feels different yet. That is okay. Your kindness is still being received. The body remembers how you speak to it. When you become impatient, it feels more pressure. When you stay gentle, it learns that there is no emergency. Tonight, do not make sleep another demand. Do not say, "You must sleep now." Say, "You are allowed to rest." Rest can begin before sleep. Rest begins when the fight stops. Rest begins when the body is no longer being watched and judged. Rest begins when you allow yourself to lie here without needing to achieve anything. Even if sleep takes time, you can still be kind. You can still let the body be held. You can still choose not to create fear around the passing minutes. The night is not an exam. There is no perfect way to rest. There is only this moment and your willingness to soften inside it. I am here now. My body is safe enough to soften. This moment is not asking me to fight. Let these three truths become a path home. When the mind moves away, begin with the first. I am here now. When the body tightens, move to the second. My body is safe enough to soften. When fear rises, return to the third. This moment is not asking me to fight. Nothing more is needed. The body understands simple truth. It does not need long promises. It needs your steady presence. You may notice that the mind becomes quieter when the body feels safer. The thoughts may still exist, but they no longer have the same strength because the body is not feeding them with tension. The mind and body speak to each other. A fearful thought can tighten the body, and a softer body can send calm back to the mind. You do not have to quiet the mind only through thinking. You can quiet it through warmth, through support, through stillness, through the feeling of being held, through the simple knowledge that you are here. Let the body become the message. The open hand says, I release control. The soft jaw says, I do not need to prepare every word. The lowered shoulder says, I am not carrying tomorrow. The resting eyes say, I am no longer searching. The breath says, life continues without my constant effort. The mind can listen to these messages. It can learn that safety is not only an idea, it is an experience. You are giving it that experience now. Not perfect safety, not complete silence, just enough safety for this moment, just enough softness for this breath, just enough trust to stop reaching for the next thought. And as the body becomes more present, the future begins to lose its hold over the night. You remember that tomorrow is not asking to be carried yet. It has not arrived. It does not need your fear in advance. You can release it until it comes. Tomorrow does not need you tonight. It does not need you to walk through every conversation before it happens. It does not need you to prepare for every possible problem. It does not need you to carry its work, its choices, its questions, and its emotions into this bed. Tomorrow will arrive in its own time. You are allowed to meet it then. The mind may resist this because it believes control creates safety. It says, if I think through every possibility, I will be ready. It says, if I prepare for the worst, I will not be surprised. It says, if I know exactly what to do, nothing can hurt me. But control cannot promise a painless life. It can only promise a tired mind. You can plan wisely and still leave room for life. You can prepare what is practical and release what cannot be known. There is a difference between preparation and control. Preparation chooses the next useful step. Control tries to manage every result. Preparation says, I will do what I can. Control says, everything must happen as I expect. Preparation can stop. Control never feels finished. There is always another possible problem to study, another response to plan, another future to fear. Tonight, ask gently, have I done what I can for now? Perhaps you have written down what needs to be remembered. Perhaps you have made the plan. Perhaps you have sent the message. Perhaps the next step cannot happen until morning. If there is nothing useful to do now, thinking more is not preparation. It is fear asking for a feeling that thought cannot give. You can say, I have done enough for tonight. The mind may answer, but what if I forgot something? You can trust that you will remember what matters when the time comes. The mind may say, what if tomorrow becomes difficult? You can trust yourself to meet difficulty one moment at a time. The mind may say, what if the answer is not what I want? You can trust that you will care for yourself even if disappointment comes. You are not trusting that every event will be perfect. You are trusting that you do not need to abandon yourself inside any event. That is a stronger kind of trust. You may not control tomorrow, but you can choose how you meet yourself tomorrow. You can speak kindly. You can take one step. You can ask for help. You can change direction. You can rest again. You can begin again. The future becomes less frightening when you remember that you will be there with yourself. You do not have to predict every problem because you can respond when the problem is real. The mind wants the whole map, but life often gives only the next part of the road. This is not punishment. It is how life unfolds. You did not need to know every day of your life before you arrived here. You moved through one day, then another. You learned things you could not have planned. You met people you did not know were coming. You survived changes you once believed you could not handle. The path appeared while you were walking. Tomorrow can do the same. You do not need to see every turn tonight. The mind may say, "But I need certainty." Offer it something more honest. You may not have certainty, but you have the ability to respond. Certainty depends on the future. Your ability to respond is already within you. You have adjusted before. You have changed plans. You have found strength after feeling weak. You have learned after making mistakes. You have lived through moments that did not follow your plan. You are more able than fear remembers. Let tomorrow remain unfinished. An unfinished future is not a dangerous future. It is simply unwritten. The mind may fill the empty space with fear because fear is familiar. You can leave the space open instead. Something difficult may happen. Something beautiful may happen. Something ordinary may happen. You do not know. Not knowing is not proof of danger. Silence is not always rejection. A delay is not always failure. A closed door is not always the end. An unanswered message is not always a painful answer. A slow path is not always the wrong path. The mind takes empty spaces and fills them with the old story. If the old story says you are forgotten, every delay feels like proof. If the old story says you will be rejected, every silence becomes rejection. If the old story says life is hard, every unknown becomes a threat. You can stop giving old beliefs the right to write tomorrow. Say, the future is open. It does not belong only to fear. There are possibilities you cannot see from this tired state. There may be support you have not considered. There may be a simple answer that becomes clear later. There may be a change of direction that protects your peace. There may be strength waiting in you that does not need to appear until it is needed. You do not have to discover it all tonight. The future can remain open. I release tomorrow until tomorrow comes. Let this become a clear boundary. I release tomorrow until tomorrow comes. You are not throwing away responsibility. You are returning responsibility to the time where it belongs. Tomorrow's tasks belong to tomorrow. Tomorrow's conversations belong to tomorrow. Tomorrow's choices belong to tomorrow. Tonight belongs to rest. The mind may try to bring tomorrow back. It may show you the morning, the work, the meeting, the problem, or the waiting. Answer gently, not yet. Tomorrow is real, but it is not here. Not yet. The decision matters, but it does not need to be made now. Not yet. The conversation may come, but you are not inside it now. Not yet. These words are not rejection. They are timing. There is wisdom in meeting things at the right time. You do not prepare a meal days before you can eat it. You do not open a flower to make it bloom sooner. You do not pull the morning into the middle of the night. Let each thing come in its own time. Your mind may believe that worrying proves you care. Perhaps you worry about someone you love. Perhaps you worry about money, health, work, or a choice because these things matter deeply. But worry is not the only way to care. You can care through wise action. You can care through attention when attention is useful. You can care through love. You can care through rest, so you have more strength to give. You do not need fear to prove that something matters. Release the belief that calm means you do not care. Calm may be the most caring state from which to respond. A calm mind can listen. A calm body can notice. A calm heart can choose without being pushed by panic. You may believe that if you relax, you will lose control. But what if relaxation helps you see what control was hiding? What if the answer becomes clearer when the noise becomes lower? What if rest is part of the solution? You do not have to force an answer out of a tired mind. Let the night do its work. The mind continues to sort and settle even when you are not directing it. The body continues to restore itself. Feelings may become softer. A problem that seemed impossible at night may look smaller in the morning. You have experienced this before. Something felt heavy late at night. Then morning came, and the same issue had more space around it. The problem may not have changed, but your state changed. Your state matters. Do not make important choices from a mind that is asking for sleep. You can write the question down and tell yourself, I will return to this when I can see clearly. Then trust yourself to return. You do not have to keep the question active in order to remember it. Let it rest outside the mind. The mind may say, if I stop thinking, I will lose control. You can answer, rest is not losing control. Rest is choosing where my energy goes. Your energy is precious. Do not spend it living through futures that may never happen. Do not spend it repeating conversations that have not begun. Do not spend it trying to control another person's thoughts, feelings, or choices. Some parts of tomorrow are not yours to control. You cannot control how every person responds. You cannot control whether every plan works. You cannot control every delay, change, or surprise. But you can control whether you speak to yourself with cruelty tonight. You can control whether you continue feeding the same fear. You can control whether you allow your body some peace. You can control whether you meet this moment with love. Bring your power back from what you cannot manage. You may have placed so much energy into another person's possible choice. You may be wondering what they will say, whether they will stay, how they will act, or what they will decide. Their choice belongs to them. Your inner care belongs to you. Release their part. Return to yours. Your part is to know what feels true. Your part is to honor your limits. Your part is to speak honestly when the time comes. Your part is to stop abandoning yourself while waiting for someone else. You do not need to control another person to be safe within yourself. You can allow them to show you who they are. You can allow life to reveal what is real. You can trust that clarity does not need to be forced. What is true will become clear through time, action, and experience. You do not have to solve another person's mind inside your own. Release them from the imagined conversation. Release yourself from the need to know tonight. Perhaps the future you fear is not the future that is coming. Perhaps the mind is using old pain to predict a new day. It remembers what happened before and says, it will happen again. But a new moment is not required to repeat an old one. You are not the same. Your choices may be different. Your boundaries may be stronger. Your awareness may be clearer. Even if a similar challenge appears, you can meet it in a new way. The past does not have full control over tomorrow. You are bringing new understanding into the future. Let that be enough. Life can work for me while I rest. This may be difficult to receive if you are used to believing that everything depends on your constant effort. Perhaps you believe that if you stop pushing, everything will fall apart. Perhaps you have carried responsibilities for so long that rest feels like danger. But life continues while you sleep. The world does not stop because you close your eyes. The morning moves toward you. The body restores what it can. The mind settles. Time continues. Other people make their choices. Problems shift. New information becomes available. You are not the only force holding life together. You can release the belief that everything depends on your worry. Life does not need your fear in order to move. Your future does not need your panic in order to arrive. Your goals do not need your sleeplessness in order to grow. Do what is yours to do, then allow life to do what is not yours. This is not laziness. It is balance. You are one part of life, not the controller of every part. There is relief in admitting this. You can stop trying to manage the whole world from a tired mind. Life can work for me while I rest. Perhaps a new idea will come tomorrow. Perhaps an answer will reach you. Perhaps the next step will become clear. Perhaps nothing changes immediately, but you wake with more strength. That strength is also support. A calmer mind is support. A rested body is support. A clearer feeling is support. Do not overlook the quiet ways life helps you. The help may not arrive as a complete solution. It may arrive as enough energy for the next step. That is enough. You do not need the whole future. You need the next honest step when the time comes. Tonight, there is no next step except rest. Let the future remain beyond the edge of this moment. You are not being asked to enter it. You are being asked to release your grip. Open the hands again. Let the body feel what it is like not to hold tomorrow. You may imagine tomorrow resting outside the room, waiting for its own time. It does not need to sit on your chest. It does not need to live inside your stomach. It does not need to move through every thought. Place it where it belongs. Beyond tonight. I release tomorrow until tomorrow comes. Life can work for me while I rest. I do not have to control what has not happened. I do not have to prepare for every result. I do not need fear to keep me responsible. I can meet life when life arrives. Let these truths create room. The mind may still ask questions. Let them remain questions. An unanswered question is not an emergency. It is simply unfinished. You can live beside an unfinished question without letting it consume you. You can sleep beside uncertainty. You can breathe without knowing. You can rest before the answer arrives. This is trust in its simplest form, not knowing and still softening, waiting and still caring for yourself, allowing tomorrow to be tomorrow. There is nothing you need to carry ahead of time. Let the next day come without forcing it to explain itself tonight. Let the morning bring its own light. Let your mind stay here. Let your body remain supported. Let the future stay open. And as you release what has not yet happened, you may notice another weight still asking for kindness. The mind not only travels forward, it also returns to what has already ended. It reopens moments, words, and choices, hoping the past will finally change. But the past does not need another trial tonight. It needs a gentler place to rest. The past does not need another night inside your mind. You have already lived those moments. You have already felt the words, the silence, the confusion, the disappointment, the regret, and the weight of what could not be changed. You do not need to carry the same scene back into your heart each time the room becomes quiet. The mind may return because it wants a different ending. It may replay what happened and search for the sentence that could have changed everything. It may ask what you should have noticed, what you should have said, why you trusted, why you stayed, why you left, or why you did not understand sooner. The mind believes that if it thinks long enough, the past may finally make sense. But some moments do not become peaceful through more study. They become peaceful when you stop asking them to give you what they no longer can. An old conversation cannot return and speak differently. A finished moment cannot open again and offer another choice. The person you were then cannot know what you know now. You can learn from what happened, but you cannot live backward. Tonight, you are allowed to stop trying. You are allowed to say, that moment has ended. You are allowed to let the past become quieter than your present. The memory may still come. Let it come without turning it into a courtroom. You do not need to question yourself again. You do not need to gather every old detail and use it as proof against your own heart. You may have made a mistake. You may have ignored something important. You may have trusted what was not safe. You may have stayed longer than you wanted. You may have left before you felt ready. You may have spoken from fear. You may have remained silent because you did not know how to speak. You were trying to find your way with the understanding you had at the time. That does not mean every choice was right. It means you do not need to punish yourself forever in order to prove that you have learned. Punishment is not the same as growth. Shame is not the same as wisdom. Repeating the wound is not the same as healing it. You can understand what happened without making yourself live inside it each night. You can take the lesson and release the daily pain. Perhaps the lesson was that your feelings matter. Perhaps the lesson was that love should not require you to disappear. Perhaps the lesson was that your body often knows before your mind is ready to admit the truth. Perhaps the lesson was that a clear boundary is kinder than quiet resentment. Perhaps the lesson was that fear can make you hold what is already hurting you. Perhaps the lesson was simply that you deserved more care than you were able to give yourself then. Keep what helps you now. Release what only keeps you hurting. The mind may say, "But I should have known." You can answer, "I know now." The mind may say, "I wasted too much time." You can answer, "I still have this moment." The mind may say, "I cannot forgive myself." You can answer, "I am willing to stop hurting myself." You do not have to force complete forgiveness tonight. Willingness is enough. You can begin with a small opening. I am willing to see myself with more kindness. I am willing to believe that I did the best I could with the awareness I had. I am willing to let this memory lose some of its weight. I am willing to stop carrying this into every new day. These words do not erase responsibility. They make healing possible. When you attack yourself, the nervous system remains in the old moment. It does not feel that the event has ended. It keeps hearing the same blame. It keeps feeling the same shame. It keeps preparing for the same pain. Self-forgiveness tells the body, we are no longer living there. The memory may be real, but it is not happening now. The mistake may have happened, but you are not making it in this moment. The old choice may have changed your life, but it does not need to own every part of the life that remains. Bring your attention back to the truth of tonight. You are here. You are older than the memory. You are more aware than you were then. You have survived the moment that once felt impossible. You are allowed to grow beyond it. You may imagine that you have been carrying a heavy bag for a very long time. Inside it are old words, faces, fears, choices, and questions. You have carried it into new rooms. You have carried it through new mornings. You have carried it while trying to love, work, rest, and begin again. Perhaps you became so used to the weight that you forgot you were holding it. Tonight, let yourself set it down. You do not have to throw it away. You do not have to pretend it never belonged to you. Simply place it beside you. Feel the difference between carrying the past and remembering that it exists. You can look at the bag without lifting it again. You can say, "This is part of what I have lived, but it is not everything I am." Your identity is larger than your hardest moment. You are not only the person Hull was hurt. You are not only the person who made the mistake. You are not only the person who was left, misunderstood, afraid, or lost. You are also the person who continued. You are the person who is learning. You are the person who can choose a softer way now. The mind may return to someone else's words. Perhaps something was said that still lives inside you. A sentence spoken in anger may have become the way you speak to yourself. A rejection may have become a belief about your worth. A silence may have become proof that you were not important. But another person's inability to see you clearly does not define you. Their words came through their pain, limits, fear, and understanding. You do not need to turn those words into your inner voice. You can say, "That was said to me, but it does not belong inside me forever." You can release the belief that you were too much. You can release the belief that you were not enough. You can release the belief that love must feel uncertain. You can release the belief that you must earn care by suffering. You can release the belief that one painful ending explains your whole future. These beliefs may have lived in you for a long time. Do not become angry if they do not leave in one night. Old messages fade through repeated truth. The truth is that you are still worthy. The truth is that you can learn without hating yourself. The truth is that your future does not have to copy your past. The truth is that peace is available even when every memory has not disappeared. You do not need to remove the memory to remove its control. A memory can remain while the body becomes calmer around it. A name can return without taking your breath. A place can cross your mind without pulling you back into the old pain. A question can remain unanswered without keeping your heart awake. This is what freedom can look like. Not forgetting, not pretending, not becoming cold. Simply no longer giving the past the right to control the whole present. Perhaps you are holding anger because anger once gave you strength. It helped you stand up after being hurt. It gave you distance from what was unsafe. It reminded you that what happened was not acceptable. Honor what anger did for you. Then ask whether you still need to carry it in the same way. Anger may have protected you, but it may not be the place where you want to sleep. You can keep the boundary and release the burning. You can remember the lesson and soften the body. You can protect yourself without living in battle. Forgiveness does not mean opening the door to what hurt you. It does not mean trust must return. It does not mean contact must continue. It does not mean you call harm acceptable. Forgiveness can simply mean, I will not allow this moment to keep taking life from me. You are allowed to choose distance and peace. You are allowed to say no and still release resentment. You are allowed to protect your heart without keeping it closed to everything good. The person or situation may never give you the answer you wanted. You may never receive a full apology. You may never understand why something happened. Your freedom does not have to wait for another person's understanding. You can begin without them. You can say, I may never receive the answer, but I can stop giving the question my whole life. That is not weakness. That is choosing yourself. Perhaps the hardest person to forgive is the person you were. You may look back and see someone who accepted less, stayed quiet, ignored needs, or made choices from fear. You may feel embarrassed by how much you wanted love, approval, safety, or belonging. Do not shame that part of you. That part was trying to survive. That part wanted to be chosen. That part believed it had to work harder, give more, remain smaller, or stay longer to keep what mattered. Speak to that part with the care it needed then. You did not know another way. You were afraid. You wanted love. You wanted to feel safe. I understand you now. I will not punish you for trying to survive. There is great healing in being understood by your own heart. You may have spent years hoping someone else would understand why you acted as you did. Begin by giving yourself that understanding. Understanding does not remove responsibility. It removes cruelty. You can say, I see what I did, and I also see why. Then you can choose differently now. This is how the past becomes wisdom instead of a prison. The old memory may return again tonight. When it does, place one gentle sentence beside it. I am not there now. If regret comes, say, I am allowed to grow. If shame comes, say, I will not use this memory to hurt myself again. If anger comes, say, I can protect myself without carrying this fire. If sadness comes, say, I am here with the part of me that still hurts. Let the feeling have kindness rather than another argument. Some pain becomes louder because it has never felt safely held. It was pushed away during the day. It was hidden so you could continue. Then at night, it returns and asks to be seen. See it without letting it take everything. You can say, I know this still hurts. You do not have to explain it. You do not have to find the perfect lesson. You can sit beside the truth of the feeling. Then remind yourself that the feeling can move. No emotion remains exactly the same forever. It may rise. It may stay for a while. It may soften. It may return on another day. You do not need to fear its movement. You can let sadness be sadness without deciding that your whole future will be sad. You can let regret be regret without deciding that you are unworthy. You can let grief be grief without believing that life has ended. The heart can hold pain and still slowly open to peace. Tonight say, I release this day. Release the moments you wish had gone differently. Release the words you keep reviewing. Release the silence you keep trying to understand. Release the pressure to fix what has already happened. I release this day and forgive myself enough to rest, not enough to understand everything, not enough to forget, not enough to pretend, enough to rest. I forgive myself enough to rest. Perhaps that is the only forgiveness available tonight. Let it be enough. You can return to the deeper work another time. Tonight, the heart needs relief. You are allowed to sleep before you are fully healed. You are allowed to rest while you are still learning. You are allowed to experience peace even with an unfinished past. The past does not need your sleeplessness. It does not become more meaningful because you suffer through it again. You honor what happened by choosing to live more wisely now. You honor the lesson by caring for yourself differently. You honor your growth by allowing this night to be new. This night has never happened before. You have never been this exact version of yourself before. You are meeting this moment with more awareness than you had then. Let the new moment remain new. Do not cover it completely with an old memory. Let there be some open space. Let the room belong to tonight. Let the body know it is no longer trapped in yesterday. Let the mind know the old trial has ended. You can return the past to the past. You can keep what helped you become wiser. You can release what keeps you afraid. You can place the heavy bag down. It may still be near, but you are no longer carrying it. Feel your hands without the weight. Feel the shoulders without the old story resting there. Feel the chest with a little more room. I release this day and forgive myself enough to rest. Let the words become a quiet ending to what cannot be changed. You did what you knew. You learned what you could. You are here now. The night is not asking you to return. It is asking you to let go. And when the mind no longer receives its final words from fear, blame, and regret, it becomes ready for a new message. The last thoughts of the night can become softer. They can remind the subconscious that rest is safe, the future is open, and you do not need to carry pain into sleep. The words you offer yourself at night matter. They do not need to be perfect. They do not need to sound grand. They do not need to promise that every problem will disappear by morning. They only need to be kind enough for the body to receive. The tired mind does not need a speech. It needs a simple message that does not create another argument. If you tell yourself something that feels too far from your present feeling, part of the mind may resist. It may begin collecting reasons the words are not true. So begin where you are. You do not have to say, "I never worry," when worry is here. You can say, "I am learning to release worry." You do not have to say, "My mind is completely silent." You can say, "My mind is becoming quieter." You do not have to say, "I know everything will happen exactly as I want." You can say, "I can meet tomorrow one step at a time." Gentle words create less resistance. They do not force the mind to pretend. They invite it toward a new feeling. Tonight, let the first message be simple. I am safe to stop thinking now. The mind may ask whether everything has been solved. You are not saying everything is solved. You are saying thinking can stop for now. I am safe to stop thinking now. The body does not need every answer before it receives this message. It only needs to feel that the present moment is not demanding more. Let the sentence reach the forehead that has been working so hard. Let it reach the eyes that have searched through every possible future. Let it reach the jaw that has prepared conversations that never happened. Let it reach the chest that has carried tomorrow as though tomorrow were already here. I am safe to stop thinking now. Perhaps the thoughts do not stop immediately. That is okay. The sentence is not an order. It is permission. You are no longer commanding the mind to become silent. You are letting it know silence is available. The next message is this: nothing needs to be forced tonight. You do not need to force sleep. You do not need to force peace. You do not need to force forgiveness. You do not need to force an answer. You do not need to force yourself to feel better. Force creates more tension. Healing often enters when pressure leaves. Nothing needs to be forced tonight. The night can unfold naturally. The breath can move without control. The body can soften at its own pace. The mind can become quiet in layers. You do not have to watch the process. You do not have to check whether it is working. You can simply stop adding pressure. Perhaps you have spent the day forcing yourself through tiredness. You may have forced a smile, forced focus, forced patience, or forced strength because something needed to be done. Tonight, there is nothing left to perform. You do not need to look peaceful. You do not need to sound strong. You do not need to prove that you are healing. You can be exactly as you are and still receive rest. Nothing needs to be forced tonight. Let that message become a release. Then offer the mind another truth. I release what I cannot change in this moment. There may be things you can change later. There may be choices you can make, words you can speak, or practical actions you can take. But if nothing can be changed now, holding it tightly does not create power. It only creates pain. I release what I cannot change in this moment. You are not releasing your care. You are releasing the need to control what is unavailable. You are not giving up. You are placing your energy back in the present. Perhaps you cannot change another person's choice. Perhaps you cannot change what was said. Perhaps you cannot change how quickly an answer arrives. Perhaps you cannot change the past. Perhaps you cannot know the future. Release what is beyond your hands. Feel how much energy has been placed into trying to manage what is not yours. Let some of that energy return. You do not have to hold the whole world in your mind. I release what I cannot change in this moment. Then allow a new sentence to face the morning. Tomorrow can meet me gently. You do not know exactly what tomorrow will bring. This sentence does not claim that every moment will be easy. It simply opens the future to more than fear. Fear has been writing tomorrow before it arrives. It has filled the day with trouble, rejection, loss, and pressure. Let another possibility exist. Tomorrow can meet me gently. Perhaps gentleness comes through a clearer thought. Perhaps through enough energy for one task. Perhaps through an honest conversation. Perhaps through a delay that gives you more time. Perhaps through the strength to say no. Perhaps through a quiet moment you did not expect. Perhaps the gentleness comes from you. You may meet yourself with more patience. You may stop demanding perfection. You may allow one mistake without turning against yourself. Tomorrow does not need to be free of difficulty to contain gentleness. You can carry gentleness into the difficulty. Tomorrow can meet me gently. Let this sentence soften the future. The next words are for the busy mind. My mind is becoming quieter. Becoming is enough. You do not need instant silence. A river becomes calmer as it moves away from the storm. The water may still have movement. It may still carry leaves, sound, and small waves. Yet it can become gentler. Your mind can do the same. My mind is becoming quieter. Perhaps one thought is already less loud. Perhaps the space between thoughts is growing. Perhaps your attention is returning to the body more easily. Perhaps you are no longer afraid of every thought. These are forms of quiet. Quiet is not always complete silence. Quiet may be a thought that no longer controls your breath. Quiet may be a memory that comes without pulling you fully inside. Quiet may be a question that remains unanswered without creating panic. Quiet may be the moment you say, "Not tonight," and mean it kindly. My mind is becoming quieter. You do not have to notice exactly when it happens. Let the words work without being watched. Now give the heart a message about worth. I am worthy of peaceful rest. Rest does not belong only to people who finished everything. Rest does not belong only to people who made no mistakes. Rest does not belong only to people who feel calm already. You do not need to earn sleep through perfect behavior. You do not need to prove your value through exhaustion. You are worthy of peaceful rest because you are alive, human, and in need of care. I am worthy of peaceful rest. The unfinished work does not remove your worth. The difficult day does not remove your worth. The worry does not remove your worth. The mistake does not remove your worth. You are still allowed to be held by the night. You are still allowed to receive softness. You are still allowed to stop. Let these words reach the part of you that believes rest must be deserved. Perhaps you learned that your value came from what you did for others. Perhaps you were praised for working through pain, remaining strong, and asking for very little. Perhaps rest brings guilt because it feels like you are not giving enough. But the body is not a machine that must continue until it breaks. Care is not selfish. Rest is not failure. You can serve life better when you are not constantly empty. I am worthy of peaceful rest. Let that sentence become a new belief, even if it begins as a small one. Now let the night words move together naturally. I am safe to stop thinking now. Nothing needs to be forced tonight. I release what I cannot change in this moment. Tomorrow can meet me gently. My mind is becoming quieter. I am worthy of peaceful rest. Do not treat these as a list you must remember. Let one sentence choose you. Perhaps the first one brings relief. Perhaps another touches the deeper fear. Perhaps one feels simple enough to carry into sleep. You do not need all of them at once. One true, gentle sentence can change the direction of the mind. If I am safe to stop thinking now feels right, let it remain close. If tomorrow can meet me gently, brings comfort, let it rest beside you. If nothing needs to be forced tonight, loosens the body, stay there. The mind changes through steady, kind messages. It has received fear for a long time. It may have heard, be careful, do not make a mistake. Something may go wrong. You are falling behind. You need to fix this. You cannot relax. These messages became familiar because they were repeated. Now you can begin repeating something else. You are safe enough. You can rest. You can handle one moment at a time. You do not have to know everything. You are allowed to receive peace. The new words may feel quiet beside the old ones. That does not mean they are weak. A soft voice can become trusted when it continues to return. Do not try to shout over fear. Speak with steadiness. Fear may be loud because it believes volume creates safety. Your calm voice does not need to compete. It only needs to remain. When the mind says, "What if tomorrow is difficult?" your quiet voice says, "I will meet it when it comes." When the mind says, "You should think about this again," your quiet voice says, "Nothing new is being found tonight." When the mind says, "You do not deserve to rest," Your quiet voice says, "My worth is not measured by exhaustion." When the mind says, "You must control the future," your quiet voice says, "Life can unfold without my fear." This is how the inner voice becomes more loving. You do not silence fear through hate. You become more trustworthy than fear. The subconscious listens to repetition, feeling, and experience. It notices not only the words, but the way you speak them. Say them as though you are comforting someone you care about. Do not use the words as another demand. Do not say, "I am safe," while becoming angry that fear remains. Say, "I am safe enough to be patient with this fear." Do not say, "My mind is quiet," while checking for noise. Say, "My mind is learning a quieter way." Do not say, "I release everything," while blaming yourself for what you still hold. Say, "I am releasing what I can tonight." This is a gentle path. It gives the body room. You may place a hand where the words feel most needed, perhaps over the chest, the stomach, or another place that has carried the day. Let the warmth of your hand support the message. I am here. You do not have to do this alone. I will not leave you with these thoughts. The body understands presence. It understands the difference between being judged and being held. It may have spent many nights feeling alone with a busy mind. Tonight you remain. You are not abandoning yourself because you are worried. You are not becoming cruel because the mind is loud. You are not treating tiredness like failure. You are staying. That is one of the safest messages the subconscious can receive. I am here, and I am not leaving myself tonight. Perhaps no other sentence is needed. The mind may continue for a while, but it is no longer alone. The body may remain tense, but it is no longer being attacked. The heart may still hurt, but it is being treated with care. This is how safety grows. You may notice that the night words begin to feel different after they are repeated gently. At first, they may sound like ideas. Then they may begin to feel like possibilities. With time, they can become beliefs. The mind that once said, "I must think about everything," can learn, "I can return tomorrow." The body that once believed rest was unsafe can learn, "I can soften and still be protected." The heart that once believed pain must be carried forever can learn, "I can remember and still be free." Do not rush this change. A seed does not become a tree because you watch it through the night. You offer it the right conditions and allow growth to happen quietly. Offer your mind kindness. Offer your body rest. Offer your subconscious new words. Then let the night do what it knows. You do not need to stay awake to make the words work. You do not need to repeat them with effort. Let them become the final direction rather than another task. I am safe to stop thinking now. Perhaps that is the last clear sentence the mind needs. After it, there may be silence. There may be another thought. If another thought comes, you can return gently. I am safe to stop thinking now. no anger, no disappointment, no belief that you failed, simply a return. Each return strengthens the new path. The mind is learning that it does not have to enter every thought. The body is learning that night does not need to be a place of alertness. The heart is learning that rest can be received before every problem is solved. You are giving yourself a new ending to the day, and not an ending filled with fear. Not a final review of everything that went wrong, a softer ending, a message of safety, a permission to release, a reminder of worth. And the more often you return to this kind of ending, the more you become someone who knows the way back to peace. Not someone who never worries, but someone who no longer becomes lost inside every worry. The goal is not to never have another worried thought. The goal is not to become a person who never feels fear, uncertainty, sadness, or pressure. The goal is to know that when the mind becomes loud, you can return. You can return to the body. You can return to the present. You can return to a kinder voice. You can return to the truth that a thought is not always a warning. Peace is not a place you reach once and remain forever. Peace is something you remember. It is something you practice. It is something you come back to after the day pulls you away. You may begin tomorrow feeling calm, then receive a message that creates worry. You may face a problem that makes the old thoughts return. You may find yourself checking, imagining, and trying to control again. This does not mean tonight's healing was lost. It means you are human. The old road may still be familiar. Healing is noticing that you are on it and choosing to turn back. Perhaps in the past, you followed a worry for hours before realizing what was happening. Now you may notice sooner. That matters. Perhaps you still feel fear, but you no longer add the belief that fear means something terrible is certain. That matters. Perhaps the mind becomes loud, but you remember to soften the shoulders. That matters. Perhaps one question remains unanswered, and you allow it to remain that way until morning. That matters. Do not reject small progress because it does not look dramatic. A quieter life is built through small returns. One night when you choose not to check again. One morning when you speak gently instead of criticizing yourself. One moment when you recognize that a thought is only an old habit. One choice to rest instead of forcing another answer. These moments teach the mind who you are becoming. You are becoming someone who does not believe every fear. You are becoming someone who can feel uncertainty without creating a painful future around it. You are becoming someone who notices when the body needs care. You are becoming someone who does not use worry as proof of love. You are becoming someone who can stop. Let that identity feel simple. You do not need to announce it. You live it through small choices. The old identity may say, I am an overthinker. This is just who I am. But overthinking is something the mind learned to do. It is not your deepest identity. You may have practiced it for many years. You may be very skilled at seeing every possible problem. That does not mean you cannot practice another way. You can become skilled at returning. You can become skilled at noticing fear without following it. You can become skilled. Let it giving yourself comfort before creating another question. You can become skilled at resting without certainty. Do not hold the label so tightly that it becomes a life sentence. Instead of saying, "I am an overthinker," you can say, "My mind has learned to overthink, and it is learning peace." This leaves room for change. It gives the mind a direction without shame. My mind has learned to overthink, and it is learning peace. You are not fighting who you are changing what you practice. The old habit may still appear because it was repeated often. Every time you choose a new response, you create another path. At first, the new path may feel weak. The old one is easy to enter because you know every turn. The new one asks for awareness. But repeated steps make a path clearer. Each time you say, "This thought does not need my energy," the path grows. Each time you return to the body, the path grows. Each time you allow tomorrow to remain tomorrow, the path grows. Each time you forgive yourself enough to rest, the path grows. One day peace may become more familiar than panic. Not because life stopped changing, not because every problem disappeared, because you learned how to stay with yourself inside change. This is the deeper peace you are building. It does not depend on a perfect world. It depends on a kinder relationship with your own mind. You may still face moments that require thought. There will be decisions, plans, and problems. A quiet mind is not an empty mind. It is a mind that knows when thinking is useful and when thinking has become fear. You can ask, "Is there a step I can take?" If yes, take the step when the time is right. If no, return to peace. This becomes a simple guide. Thought leads to action, or thought is released. You do not need to remain in the circle. You can say, "I have thought about this enough for now." This sentence protects your energy. You may need to say it more than once. The mind may return and ask for another review. "I have thought about this enough for now." It may bring a new fear that looks like a new point. "I have thought about this enough for now." You are not refusing wisdom. You are recognizing repetition. With practice, you will begin to feel the difference between a useful thought and an anxious thought. A useful thought feels clear. It may not feel easy, but it points somewhere. An anxious thought feels urgent and circular. It asks for more thinking without giving a next step. A useful thought can rest after it is heard. An anxious thought keeps demanding attention. You can listen to useful thought and release the rest. You do not have to give every part of the mind the same authority. There is wisdom in you that speaks quietly. It may say, "Rest." It may say, "Wait." It may say, "This is not yours to control." It may say, "Speak tomorrow." It may say, "You already know the answer." Fear often speaks faster. Wisdom often feels simpler. A calmer body helps you hear the difference. His is why returning to peace is not avoiding life. It helps you meet life more clearly. When you are not lost in every possible future, you can see what is actually happening. When you are not replaying the past, you can notice what the present is offering. When you are not using energy to fight yourself, you have more energy for the step that matters. Peace gives you back to your life. You are learning to protect your attention. Attention is one of your most precious forms of energy. Where attention goes, emotion often follows. If attention remains on fear, the body feels fear. If attention returns to the present, the body has a chance to settle. You cannot always stop the first thought, but you can choose where attention goes next. A thought may appear without permission. Following it is a second choice. This does not mean you will always choose perfectly. Some thoughts will pull you in before you notice. When you notice, return. Do not say, "I ruined everything." Simply return. The moment of noticing is already a moment of freedom. You are not failing because you wandered. You are healing because you remembered, "I know how to return to peace." Let that become part of your new identity. I know how to return to peace. You may return through a softer breath. You may return through feeling your feet. You may return through one honest sentence. You may return by placing the phone down. You may return by writing the thought and deciding to meet it later. You may return by remembering that no action is needed now. There is no single perfect way. Peace is not a strict practice. It is a relationship with yourself. You learn what helps the mind feel supported. You learn which words bring the body home. You learn when silence helps and when you need to speak. You learn that some nights are easier and some are more tender. Through all of it, you remain on your own side. That is the deepest change. The mind becomes less afraid when it knows you will not attack it. The body becomes more willing to soften when it knows you will not force it. The heart becomes more open when it knows you will not abandon it during pain. You become a peaceful home for yourself. A home is not a place where nothing difficult ever happens. It is a place where you can return. A place where you are known. A place where you do not need to prove your right to rest. I am becoming a safe and peaceful home for myself. Let those words settle. Perhaps for a long time you searched for peace in another person's response. You believed you could relax when someone chose you, understood you, answered you, or promised not to leave. But when peace depends completely on someone else, the mind remains watchful. It studies every change. It fears every silence. It tries to control what cannot be controlled. Becoming a safe home within does not mean you stop needing love. It means love from others is no longer the only place where safety exists. You can receive love without losing yourself inside it. You can care about someone without making their mood the ruler of your nervous system. You can wait for an answer while remaining connected to your own heart. You can experience uncertainty without standing outside yourself. This is emotional strength, not becoming cold, not pretending you do not care. Caring without abandonment, loving without losing your center, waiting without punishing yourself. You may also have searched for peace through perfect results. You believed you would relax when the work was complete, money was stable, the body felt different, or every plan became clear. But one completed problem is often followed by another. If peace must wait until life is finished, peace will always be delayed. Life is not something you complete before you begin living. Peace must learn to sit beside unfinished things. You can be working toward change and still rest tonight. You can want more support and still be kind to the life you have. You can heal and still receive moments of calm before healing is complete. You can be uncertain and still feel safe enough now. This is what returning teaches you. You do not need life to become still before you find stillness within it. The quiet place is not far away. It is in the moment when you stop following fear. It is in the moment when you feel the bed holding you. It is in the moment when you say, "This can wait." It is in the moment when you choose not to criticize yourself. These moments may be brief at first. Let them count. Do not say, "I was only peaceful for a few seconds." Those few seconds are proof that another state is available. The body experienced it. The mind saw it. The path became clearer. A few seconds can grow. You do not need to hold peace tightly. Holding turns peace into control. Let it come and go. When it goes, know you can return. That trust is more valuable than trying to keep a perfect mood. You are learning that you are not helpless when the mind becomes loud. You have choices. You can name the thought. You can stop the mental conversation. You can return to the body. You can release the future. You can offer new words. You can rest beside the unanswered question. This is your inner strength, not controlling every thought, knowing you do not have to follow. I know how to return to peace. I am becoming a safe and peaceful home for myself. Let these words support who you are becoming. You are not beginning again from nothing each night. Every gentle choice remains in the body. Every peaceful message creates a memory. Every time you return, the nervous system learns. The change may be quiet, but quiet change is still change. Perhaps one night you will notice that the same thought appears and no longer feels as powerful. Perhaps you will hear the old fear and feel more space around it. Perhaps you will fall asleep before finishing the worry. Perhaps you will wake and realize you released something without trying. Do not demand when this will happen. At growth, remain natural. Your work is only to return when you remember. The mind knows how to become quiet. The body knows how to rest. You are removing the pressure that kept them from doing what they already know. And now, as the night deepens, there is nothing more to learn. There is nothing more to understand. The teachings can become simpler. The words can become softer. You can allow the night to hold what your tired mind no longer needs to carry. You have carried enough for today. You have thought enough. You have tried enough. You have given enough energy to questions that do not need another answer tonight. Let the night hold what you cannot carry. The night does not ask you to explain. It does not ask you to finish. It does not ask you to prove that you deserve rest. It simply arrives and offers darkness, quiet, and space. Let yourself receive that space. You may still have responsibilities. They can wait outside this moment. You may still have questions. They can remain unanswered. You may still have feelings. They can rest beside you without being solved. Nothing needs to be removed before you are allowed to soften. You do not need a perfectly empty mind. You only need to stop carrying every thought as though it were urgent. Let the thought become light enough to set down. Perhaps there is one worry still close. You know the one. It has returned many times. You have looked at it from every side. You have asked what it means. You have imagined how it may end. You have tried to prepare. There is nothing more you need to find tonight. Say gently, I will meet this another time. Do not push it away. Place it outside the hours of rest. I will meet this another time. The mind may want to know exactly when. You do not need to decide. You are only letting the night be free from it. Perhaps there is one conversation you keep hearing. Release the words. You do not need to answer inside your mind. You do not need to decide what another person meant. Their voice does not need to remain in your room. Let the conversation end. Perhaps there is one old mistake still asking for punishment. You have already learned what you can tonight. Place a hand over the place where guilt lives and say, you do not need to hurt me again. The lesson can remain without the pain repeating. Perhaps there is one future fear still standing near the edge of your mind. Let tomorrow keep its own story. You are not required to write it through fear. The future will become real one moment at a time. Meet it then. Tonight is not the future. It is only tonight. Feel the simple truth of where you are, the bed beneath you, the air around you, the body breathing. You are not standing inside the problem. You are not inside the conversation. You are not back in the past. You are here. Let here be enough. The mind may say, but there is still something I need to remember. Trust that what truly matters can return. You do not need to hold it through the night. The mind may say, but I have not found the answer. Some answers are not found through pressure. Some answers become clear when the body is rested. Some answers arrive through time. Some questions become less important after sleep. You are allowed to wait. The night can carry the unfinished question until morning. You can imagine placing every unanswered thought into a quiet space outside yourself, not throwing it away, not denying it, simply allowing it to exist without resting on your heart. One by one, place them down. The money worry, the relationship question, the work pressure, the fear about health, the regret, the need to know, the wish to control. You do not have to name every thought. Let the mind understand the larger message. Not tonight. Not because these things do not matter, because you matter too. Your body matters. Your rest matters. Your peace matters. The mind may have believed that worrying was the price of caring. Tonight, you stop paying that price. You can care without carrying everything at once. You can love without remaining awake. You can be responsible without living in fear. You can want change without fighting this moment. Let the shoulders become less involved with tomorrow. Let the jaw release the conversation. Let the hands stop holding what they cannot control. Let the chest know it is allowed to be a chest, not a storage place for every fear. Let the stomach soften around the unknown. The body does not need a promise that nothing difficult will ever happen. It needs the truth that nothing difficult is asking for action in this moment. This moment is quiet enough. This moment is safe enough. This moment is complete enough. You are safe enough to rest. The words may become fewer now. The mind does not need more teaching. It has heard enough. Let each sentence become a little softer. I release this day. You do not need to take today into tomorrow through your thoughts. The day has ended. Whatever was not finished can remain unfinished. I release the need to know. You do not need to understand every silence. You do not need to know every outcome. You do not need the full path. I release the thoughts that cannot help me tonight. A thought that brings no action and no peace does not need your energy now. Let it pass. My body can soften. It has carried you through every part of this day. Let it receive something from you now. Kindness, warmth, permission. My mind can become quiet, not because you force it, because there is nothing more it needs to do. I am safe to rest. Let that be the final truth beneath every other word. I am safe to rest. You may not feel complete peace yet. You do not need to. Let the sentence remain near you. I am safe to rest. The night can hold what you release. It can hold the work until morning. It can hold the questions until there is more light. It can hold the old memory without a sking you to enter it. It can hold the future outside the room. You do not have to be the only one carrying life. Let life continue without your constant effort. The heart will keep beating. The breath will keep moving. Time will continue. Morning will come without being pulled. You can stop. There is no hidden task left inside these words. Nothing else is required. You do not need to become more peaceful. You do not need to reach a special feeling. Simply let yourself lie here. Let the body be supported. Let the mind wander if it wanders. When you notice, return to one soft sentence. I do not have to solve everything tonight. The same truth that opened this moment can now close it gently. You do not have to solve everything tonight. You do not have to understand yourself perfectly. You do not have to know what someone else feels. You do not have to decide your whole future. You do not have to fix the past. You do not have to control tomorrow. You do not have to force sleep. You are allowed to stop. The mind has done enough work. Thank it. Thank you for trying to protect me. Then release it from the night watch. You can rest now. The old guard does not need to remain at the door. You are here. The room is here. This moment is not asking for protection. You can rest now. Perhaps the guard looks around one more time. Let it. Perhaps another thought comes. Let it pass. You do not need to begin the whole process again. Return to the body. Return to the support beneath you. Return to the truth that nothing must happen now. Peace does not need to arrive loudly. It may come as a small change in the breath, a heavier feeling in the body, a thought that begins and does not finish, a moment when you forget to worry. Let peace arrive in its own way. Do not watch for it. Do not measure it. The flower does not open faster because it is watched. The mind does not become quiet faster because it is checked. Leave room. Let the night continue. You may be closer to sleep than you know. You may already be moving away from the day. The thoughts may become less clear. The words may begin to feel distant. Let them. You do not need to hold on to the script. You do not need to remember every affirmation. The feeling is enough. You are being given permission to release. You are being reminded that you are not your thoughts. You are being shown that uncertainty can exist beside safety. You are learning that peace is not the absence of every concern. It is the choice not to carry every concern through the night. Let that choice become simple. Not tonight. The past can wait. Tomorrow can wait. The answer can wait. The phone can wait. The work can wait. The world can wait. You are allowed to rest before the world is ready. You are allowed to rest before everyone understands you. You are allowed to rest before the problem changes. You are allowed to rest while life remains unfinished. Life will always contain unfinished things. Do not let unfinished things steal every night. This night belongs to your body. It belongs to the breath. It belongs to quiet. It belongs to the part of you that has tried so hard. Offer that part tenderness. You did enough today. Even if the day did not go as planned, you did enough today. even if you were tired, even if you worried, even if you made a mistake, even if you did not finish everything. You did enough today. The mind may disagree. Let it disagree without argument. You are not asking for a judgment. You are offering care. You did enough for this day to end. That is true. The day can end without your approval. Let it end. Let every door of today close gently. The task is done or waiting. The conversation happened or did not. The choice was made or remains open. The day no longer needs to be carried. Release it. I release this day. I release the need to know. I release the thoughts that cannot help me tonight. My body can soften. My mind can become quiet. I am safe to rest. Let the words become slower inside you. Let them lose their edges. Let them become less like sentences and more like a feeling of being supported. You do not need to follow them. You can simply receive. Tonight you chose not to fight your mind. You listened to the fear beneath the thoughts. You remembered that overthinking was trying to create safety. You gave yourself another way. You allowed questions to remain open. You placed tomorrow back in tomorrow. You let the past become quieter. You offered your subconscious kinder words. You returned to the body. You became the voice that says, "You are safe enough now." Nothing more is needed. Do not turn this moment into another thing you must do perfectly. You have already received what you need. The rest can happen quietly. You may carry one truth with you as the words begin to fade. I do not have to solve everything tonight. Let it hold every unfinished question. I do not have to solve everything tonight. Let it soften every plan. I do not have to solve everything tonight. Let it release the old conversation. I do not have to solve everything tonight. Let it become a doorway into rest. The mind can stop searching. The body can stop preparing. The heart can stop carrying what has already passed. Life will still be there in the morning. You will meet it with the strength available then. Tonight, your only work is to receive rest. You do not have to chase sleep. Let sleep find a body that is no longer fighting. Let it find hands that are open. Let it find shoulders that have stopped carrying tomorrow. Let it find a mind that has been told kindly and clearly that its work is complete. If one final thought appears, do not follow. Let it pass like a distant sound. You are still here. You are still supported. You are still safe enough. The night is holding what you set due, and the past is behind you. The future has not arrived. This moment is gentle. This moment is quiet. This moment is enough. Rest now. Let the day go. Let the questions go. Let the need to understand go. Let the overthinking mind become still in its own time. You do not have to make the quiet happen. You only have to stop standing in its way. The night knows how to become silent. The body knows how to soften. The mind knows how to release when it no longer feels afraid. Let everything become lighter. Let the final words be simple. I am here. I am safe enough. I release this day. Tomorrow can wait. My mind can rest. And now, there is nothing more you need to carry.